I know. See, like, my camera has a red light. And it even makes a red border, which is like, because I can't tell you how many times when you're further away from the camera, you're like, is it recording?
Yeah.
Let me just go double check.
Well, so you
see the little mirror? I can see in the mirror.
Joey can see in the mirror.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
We like mirrors.
Yes, I mean, you know.
We're going to take down the ceiling fan and we're going to install a mirror on top
mirror
here.
up there. That would make this whole podcast
more porno.
That much more crazy, you know.
We're bringing podcast and porno together.
Podcasts and porno. There's that one podcast porno, right? Where that's you guys right now are like the G-rated. Is it Plug Talk?
I don't know.
I don't know the name of it, but it's I remember
G-rated.
It was kind of made famous because the guy they're always having women over and then they all have sex, but the husband let the wife have this other porn star over and like male and bang her.
Cock.
And so so he was
getting cucked out.
He was getting a lot of crap online for it. So
that's Joey's favorite.
Yeah.
All right.
Cuck Idol, like American Idol.
Idol. That's hilarious.
What was that guy who won?
You should
Cuck Idol or
American Idol. Clayton
Tamagotchi.
I don't know.
He went on Cuck Idol.
All right. Welcome to the Thread Count podcast. My name's Shannon Laleem.
I'm Rosie Rareem.
And I have a cat on me. I'm Brian Drolet.
He's about to suck your ass.
Oh,
dude.
wow. Yeah. What kind of cat is this?
Yeah,
our cat is a very
sucky
friendly
cat.
guy. Are you allergic?
No,
I never asked you.
I'm not a pussy.
We usually ask. Oh, nice.
Oh, I used the word. I used the word.
He's going to sit right on your pussy.
I can see him leaning on that dick, dude, on that mound.
He does it every time.
Man, we're just getting intimate over here.
You got that freaking anthill, dude.
The what?
No, I don't know.
Oh, my gosh. Did you just say, oh, wow.
I got to do this for post.
Oh, okay, there we go.
It's over. It's over with.
It's over with.
It's over. It's been done. So, I guess we're going to kind of get into some stuff with you today. So you are a actor, comedian, reality TV star, producer.
All around good guy.
Wow, I appreciate that. That's the most important one, really. You're an actor, comedian, filmmaker, and you're a piece of shit, we hear. Is that true?
Yeah. And we met each other around the time I think I started comedy. I don't know if you ever saw Joe do comedy. Were you around for that?
I did it for a little bit when Shannon first started. Like, we've both started together. First time was at the Coop, which was a really cool place. You ever see the Coop?
I don't think I've been to the Coop, but I do believe I probably saw you do it. It does. I was actually wondering that on my way here. I'm like, I can't remember the last time I saw you do stand up.
You might have got to town or like started being around as soon as I stopped.
Got it.
But I would just go up and pretty much do what we're doing here, but on stage.
Okay.
And it just didn't really translate to stand up. You know what I mean? It's
so
like
you would lay in a bed on stage? No,
yeah, I would lay down. I would just bend over and see who would come over. And
just with your microphone, just like, hey guys, can
just
someone help me carry the bed?
Find somebody to be his cuckold, his bull.
I would see
just
how much of
for
the
a bull.
mic could get in, but I have to snip you have to go in from this way.
So why did you stop doing it? You just said it wasn't translating, and you were just like, I'm good on this.
Well, also I play music, so when I was starting comedy, I wasn't doing music as much for the past since I've been to Florida, really, just because I've been busy trying to live my life. You know what I mean? Trying to smell my butt.
Yes.
But then once we started doing comedy, we had a little bit more time. I got out of a job that was like taking over my life, so I had nights and weekends again. So instead of like putting too much time into comedy, I was like, might as well do some music again. Stop the comedy thing.
Nice.
Stop making people scared.
Choices.
Yeah, stop making people scared.
Yeah,
but that's cool. Music's an awesome outlet.
It's
so
hard to do both. Like if I was to, I don't know, there's just need dedication to one more.
Time
so
overlaps a lot.
Yeah.
I love them both, but it's I like music more. You know.
Nice. Well, maybe you'll come back to comedy at some point, and maybe doing music will somehow, I'm sure, lend itself to being a better comedian and vice versa. Because let's face it, comedy is music.
Yeah.
Is it not?
It is. Oh, it is. It is.
It's
I think that's definitely a theme of what we've talked about working on together too. But so you started comedy when then?
so my journey.
When that you start comedy?
my journey with comedy. So I started off as an actor. I think my first professional job in the industry was on a hitting camera prank show for MTV called Damage Control.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
shit.
yeah.
And so yeah, I was getting cast on things like that, and everything that I was booking like as an actor was comedy. Like
Yeah.
every role and every
Yeah.
and I was very lucky out of the gate. I call it beginner's luck. Just was actually getting work as an actor.
Yeah.
And it was always comedic. So I thought, wow, like I love. And then I started writing my own scripts. I fell in love with screenplay writing, and so I'm like writing comedy, I'm acting in comedy. It just felt natural, like to do stand up. And actually, I think I did a play in Los Angeles that ran for 7 months, and at the beginning of the show one night, that got me comfortable in front of a crowd. And that night, the director of the play was like, "Hey, there was a delay. Can you go out there and like just make an announcement? The play will begin in 10 minutes or something." And one of the other actors in the play dared me. I said some ridiculous joke, and he's like, "If you say that in front of everybody, I will give you $50." Because he's like, "You'll
means a
never
lot,
say that
yeah.
to the audience." And it was just more of a dare. And so I said, okay. So I went out there and I said the joke, and it literally got like, first of all, it was a super old crowd,
Yeah.
but like, I'll never forget one woman like in the back. It was like silence because they were so shocked. Like, what? Because it was such a dumb joke. And just one person went, ha! And
Best
Do you remember
laughs.
the joke?
oh, it was so dumb, and I would be embarrassed. It was something like, "Greetings, ladies. Greetings, gentlemen. And for people from another planet, like some just ridiculous." And then I went, and it was something so stupid like that. I don't remember
Yeah.
what the
I
alien
think
noise
that's
was.
funny. It's almost funnier for the people backstage, like your buddy. You know what I mean? To watch that and then watch one lady laugh. That's pretty fucking funny.
Well, because again, this isn't a stand-up comedy show, so nobody
Yeah.
was expecting that weird random punchline. They're just thinking, "Greetings, ladies. Greetings, gentlemen. And if you're from another planet,"
That's something they talk about when
This
they get
was
home.
the-
They're like,
the
"What
play-
the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
A week later, they're like in the shower. They're thinking like, "What the fuck?" And it starts to get into their life. A month later, maybe they start to fight with each other. They're like, "It was this." The wife is like, "It was that." And then maybe a year later, they get divorced because you did that.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to.
The butterfly effect. No, yeah, and the worst part was it was right before the play Hairspray.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Play Hairspray.
What play was it? Do you remember?
Yeah, it's called Women Are Crazy Because
I
Men
know.
Are Assholes.
Oh
And
shit, man! I like the first part of that one. No, I'm just kidding.
The other thing that was crazy too about that experience was when we were practicing for the play, and this is a great lesson, I hate to be that guy. You can learn from this, but you could.
Yeah.
So we were doing the play like dramatic actors.
Yeah.
When we put it up the first night, the laughter was so insane and so strong, and it's just because we were all super committed. It wasn't like comedians trying to be funny.
Yeah.
It was good writing, and when we were all like so serious and so in it, it made them laugh, and I was like, holy cow. And it taught me then, like, so much of being funny, they always say comedy is serious business, such a cliche, but it's like the more you're committed to the seriousness of whatever joke you're telling, it'll land better on the audience than if you're just like kind of winking like, "Hey, I'm trying to be
Yeah.
funny right now."
Yeah.
And so I had tried stand-up. Actually, the first time I ever did stand-up was on The Hills. It's on the bonus features of the DVD.
Hey.
People are
I
like,
may
"What
have
is
jerked
that?"
off to that.
Yeah.
I jerked off to it
Yes,
before
it's
you got
great
here.
masturbation
Yeah,
material.
It's really
Yeah.
good.
But so I tried it once, but I still have a fear. Like I'm deathly afraid every time that I have to get up in front
Oh,
of people.
really?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've kind of gotten it in check.
Was it way worse back then? Like, I can't imagine doing it and knowing obviously knew everyone from the Hills is there, and it's like a
Oh, there was
lot of
cameras.
pressure,
The other
yeah.
comedians were like, "Who the hell is this guy? Screw this guy. He's got cameras. He's the cool
He's got
guy."
the
You
screw,
know,
yeah.
And it was. I think I don't remember if my dad was there because they filmed me another time that also got cut MTV. From the,
God damn
I know they're just like give him his dreams and then cut it all from the stuff.
That happens so much.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can get completely cut out of a movie, you know? Like, imagine you think you're going to be in the
Crystal
new,
says
like,
that. Yeah,
X-Men
Crystal
movie.
was telling us that, yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know Crystal?
Yeah. Love Crystal. But, yeah, you just never know. And that's kind of why I like producing my own stuff is because I'm in control. Like, I'm not going to cut me out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to get rid of myself.
Yeah. This is my story.
Yeah.
I'm Lauren Conrad in this one.
The rest is finally going to be written. But yeah, so actually I had such a fear of doing stand-up, and I think part of it was like, you know, oh, the Hills guy, you know, is going to go do stand-up and like just kind of looking like a buffoon, if you will.
You gotta like live your life too, you know what I mean? You gotta do your own thing.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And I think it was 2016, my New Year's resolution was to do stand-up comedy every single night of the year.
Oh.
Because actually I had nothing at that point. Like everything I had ever tried to do hadn't worked out. You know, I was just constantly getting rejections and no's everywhere. And I needed some sort of outlet. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get over this damn fear and I'm going to do stand-up every single night. And I did it every single night until like, I want to say October 16th. And then I finally went, okay, I'm taking a night off.
Yeah.
But I totally got over the fear and, you know, it just became like a normal thing, not some like, you know, 'cause when you're first starting out, every time you have you're going to perform, it's such a big deal and you're so scared. But now it's kind of like, you know, it's just a Monday, you know, it's like the normal thing, I think.
Now, so outside of comedy, you've done a lot of acting. So you did some theater stuff, but mainly film?
Yeah. I did a bunch of independent movies, some television pilots, basically tons of things that went nowhere and did not give me the dream, you know. No, but yeah, just a lot of like straight to DVD movies, like small parts on, you know, TV shows, like, you know, maybe they would call them like a co-star. Co-star is like when you have three things you say. And a guest star is where you're in the whole episode and kind of a more. So I did things like co-stars. I think I had one guest star. But yeah, I kind of got really lucky with acting when I was younger, and it was going great, and then until it wasn't, you know. It's like that industry is so, because, you know, you can book. I booked what was supposed to be the next Mad TV or In Living Color. It was a sketch comedy pilot for Fox. Tiffany Haddish was on it.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, it had a great cast, and it was supposed to be
Fox trying to diversify.
Yeah. No, it was that moment in your life where you think, I've made it. You know, I'm fine. Like sketch comedy show, it's gonna be on Fox. You know, I'm
big deal.
Yeah, and it didn't get picked up that year. There was like so many sketch comedy pilots, and I think Jamie Foxx produced a pilot that year, and that's the one they went with.
Yeah.
And you know, so. You just never know with the acting industry. That's why it's so important, I think, to do your own stuff like this, you know, and that's what I think is great about stand-up is I think if you're doing stand-up, you kind of always have, like if you're just an actor and nobody's hiring you, you could go 3 years without working or doing anything.
Yeah.
But if you're a stand-up comedian, there's always mics you can go to and you can record yourself and you can put your art out there. And so I think that's what's super cool about stand-up, podcasts, and, you know, social media today.
Yeah. So you were on like Disaster Date and like things like that, right? You have any crazy stories from being on any of those
my
MTV
God.
shows like that?
Yes. Disaster Date.
I feel like there's got to be some good things with that. Someone freaking out.
Well, you know, I did a date with, where I was on a date with a man, a gay guy, and he thought I was a gay guy, but he didn't know I was an actor.
Wait, so what?
With
I
hair
haven't
like
seen
that.
this. I don't know the premise. I'm confused because what's going on?
So Disaster Date is like this hidden camera reality TV show type deal where they set somebody up on a date, but one of the people are an actor. So like the actor is going on a date with a real life person, and that person doesn't know they're on a hidden TV show.
They're being pranked.
Yeah.
So it's like a prank show.
So there's cameras, like let's say the date's at a cafe. Oh, let's say the date's at a cafe.
Totally didn't even realize.
There's cameras in the wall. Everybody in there is an actor.
Yeah.
It's all a set, and it's all to prank this person.
Yeah.
And my job is to make the date a disaster.
Yeah.
First of all, it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life because by default, I think I'm a nice person.
Yeah.
And so to be on a date with a girl who thinks this is a real date, and
then
now
just
my
start to
job
be
is
a
to just be
dickhead.
an asshole.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even though I know this is a TV show, the empathetic, person in me is like, I'm just dying inside. Like I had to say to this one girl, I'd love to have a threesome with you and your mother. And like, I have to
Oh, dude,
say that
that's
and make it,
sick.
you know how hard, I'll never forget. And I have an earpiece in my ear. So it's their best friend and it's the producers of the show telling me like what to say. And they'll just like tell you to say something. And you're just like, how am I gonna do this?
Dude, that's amazing, dude. That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
It was definitely a ton of fun. It was a ton of fun. You know who I actually met doing that show was he's pretty popular now. Do you guys know Rick Glassman?
I think so.
He's
Short guy?
He's a hilarious
Is he shorter,
comedian.
though?
I don't know that I don't
I'm
think
trying to think of who it is. I've heard that name.
he's got a really good podcast. I want to say it's take your shoes off. But Rick Glassman, he's honestly one of the funniest stand-up comedians I've ever seen
Would you
do
say he
stand-up.
wrote for it?
No, he was. I think he was just like another actor on the show,
Yeah.
and it just was a really nice guy. But he's just become such a big success and somebody I admire. But so I just wanted to mention that. Because he does a really popular podcast. Not as good as this one, okay? But does it
Not as popular as our 70 subscribers on the Thread Count podcast.
Does this one make people come as good as that one does?
I think it's equal coming as far as as I
that's
know.
good.
I'll
Has
have to
anyone
check
ever
the
gotten
stats.
a boner on that podcast?
Someone got a boner on this podcast.
Oh boy!
By Hatchet.
By Hatchet? What does that
Was
mean?
it a hat? Am I saying the right word? Because last time I called it a machete. Hatchet. We have a little hatchet in case anyone acts up. I gotta bash your brains in.
Oh wow! Okay.
We poked it on
Breaking.
on what's his face's dick, and then it started to grow.
Wow.
Yeah.
On
I mean,
what's
I
his
was-
face's dick?
Yeah.
On Jeff Dolezal.
Jeff Dolezal. I don't know if I know him.
The bald guy with glasses. He's in the Triple F.
He's
gang,
so
like Matt
horny
Ross
that he
and-
just fucks my ass all the
Wow.
time.
Well,
Every time I see
you
him,
do
I
not
gotta
have to
run.
worry about any of that with myself. Okay. So I promise you.
Brian has ED.
I won't rape her, man. So I'm the one with the problem. That's going to be the headline of this podcast. Brian has erectile dysfunction. Nobody's going to even watch the podcast. They're just going to go, oh, he does. Yeah, that makes sense. I knew he was a loser.
We're cutting out everything but this.
Yes. It's just going to be all about that my wiener not working.
No, I'm sure that
Oh
thing
my
is
God.
fucking
So-
smacked.
So back to Disaster
Oh,
Date.
right,
Like,
Disaster Date.
Tell us
Oh,
a
yeah, so-
crazy story.
Okay, so definitely the one where I was on the date with the guy because, I'm thinking, I don't,
He might like fucking like.
what if he's
trick
super
me.
into me?
He
and-
might get me in the bathroom,
Like-
bash my brains in, and
no,
have sex with my brains.
Oh boy, no! It always goes back to anal rape with you,
Sorry,
doesn't it? I
sorry,
mean,
sorry.
there's a theme here. I'm
No,
noticing
no,
a theme.
no. I don't know.
Is there?
Do you smell anything on this bed?
I think when I leave, I think you need to, I think he wants to be raped, is what I'm saying. But no. So Disaster Date. Yeah. So that one, I'm trying to think. I think I had a dip in. And I had like dirt on me. I had like a wife beater on, and I think I had cowboy boots.
Real dip.
Real dip.
Ugh.
And yeah, it was gross. And I actually think I did a few shots of whiskey before this. One, because I'm a straight guy, and I'm like going out on what this guy thinks is a real date. So there was a little part of me that was just like, I don't know. What if he just I didn't know what to
You
expect.
had to be ready to go with it.
Yeah, listen, I love gay guys.
How far would you go?
Guys.
How far would
You
you
had to
go?
be ready to suck one, you know?
How far
I would have slapped him away and said, "It is a first date, mister."
Yeah.
All right.
I am a lady.
Yeah, I am a lady. How dare you? So I would have probably played it that way. But yeah, so I have the dip in. And I think I was being I even think I spoke with an accent, and I was just like, I have no clue but I weirded him out so much that he started running to get out of there. Yeah. And we had the producers, we all had to chase him down because we have to do the reveal.
He
prank
thought you were going to get him, dude.
Yeah, I think he thought and I can't even remember what I said. It was
He
so
thought
long
he
ago.
was going to be Jeffrey Dahmered by you.
Yes. And then there was one where I was telling the girl on the date that I was a male stripper. And on the date, I started taking off my clothes, and I had like a leopard, I want to say like Speedo or something on. So she was mortified because we're in a public coffee shop, and it was just. So that one, I think she cried, and I felt really bad.
Oh, dude.
So that was, I felt bad.
Learn to take a joke, bitch.
Yeah. She was just mortified.
Yeah, look at our genitals when we want you to.
My naked body creates tears from women.
And not from their pussies.
Yes.
Not from the third eye.
Yeah.
Them pussies be crying in a good way.
Honestly, I think every one I could tell you a story about. One of my favorite ones was when I played a deaf rapper, and so the whole date, anything the girl said to me, I said it back incorrectly. So she would say something like, who's your favorite actor? I'd be like, 50 Cent's a good rapper. I like that rapper, and so that one was really fun, and but yeah, honestly,
did she start to get pissed off?
No, she
was confused.
She started to get annoyed because I got everything she said wrong because I was a deaf guy.
Yeah.
And but then I think I freestyle rapped, and I think she was like, "Okay, that wasn't so bad."
Did she know
you
you
pull
were
out
deaf?
the accent?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
No, so I didn't talk like a deaf person. That you could never do. Even back then, that would still be wrong if I was talking like a deaf person the whole time. No, I talked normal. I said I had a hearing aid, but it's messing up, and I have bad hearing. So we didn't get that deep on MTV's whichever one that one, Disaster Day. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the other one you said?
So it was Disaster Date and Damage Control are the two prank shows I did for MTV. I always say I wish they would re-release these on Netflix or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was Disaster Date and Damage Control was one where parents were pranking their kids.
Oh,
so
okay.
the parents would leave their
I remember
kid
that
home
one more
alone
than
for
I
the
remember
weekend.
The other one, but I've seen both of these, dude. I used to freaking just have MTV on while I was trying to get internet porn at the same time. Playing the volume louder so that mommy didn't know.
Yeah, that's what you had to do. The old volume trick, moms.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. It's so funny. I don't even know. Is MTV? I think TikTok killed MTV, right? No kids aren't watching MTV.
I miss
are
old
they?
MTV, dude. When
I'm probably older than you guys. When I grew up, MTV was the shit. It was literally all I watched for 10 years of my life.
No, MTV was definitely cool when we were young,
I'd
but it
play
was
it in
middle school.
Before school, going to school, from middle school to high school, it would just be on in the morning playing the good shit.
I think social media, YouTube, TikTok stole the MTV audience. I think all young people today are now on TikTok, YouTube, and
social media,
Instagram,
sure.
honestly.
Yeah. Well, it used to be every weekend you would put on the hot 20 songs with the music videos
TRL
and all that. Yeah.
Remember what a
yeah.
big deal TRL was?
Yeah, there was all those
TRL,
things like that.
Dude.
But I remember MTV being pretty big. I'm 29. So I think when The Hills was coming out, I was in middle school.
Watch, holding the cord there, babe. Hold the mic.
And yeah. And so I remember in sixth grade going to the MTV headquarters when I went to New York.
Oh, really?
Being oh, this is so cool. I had an MTV sticker.
Oh, yeah.
I put on
in
my
Times
Trapper.
Square?
Yeah.
That's actually where I first went to audition and meet their casting department. That same building.
Really?
Yeah. I'll never forget going up that escalator and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, because as a kid, like when I was in middle school, I was like a theater kid. Like I did voice and acting and dance and like all of that shit. Like I was into that when I was younger, and so like that was like I went to New York for my sixth grade birthday, and like
Oh, wow,
like,
nice.
Kenny was destined for the stage.
Yeah, that's when you knew, and that's when you knew.
Yeah, until I was like too cool in high school, and I was like, I'm not doing chorus or fucking
Yeah, what the fuck
acting
ever happened to
anymore.
Kirsten Dunst? God damn it, those were the days,
Kirsten Dunst.
Well, you know what's interesting is so coming around to The Hills now is actually The Hills has been on like Netflix and like Paramount and all those, like they're on all the streaming services now. And so I think when we were recording Real Comedians one time, you mentioned it was on Netflix, and I was like, yo, I'm going back to watch it. So actually we watched season 1
we were
together.
jerking off this past week.
Yeah, we watched season 1 together, and
If you want your
and when we're
sucky,
watching
sucky.
it, I'm kind of looking. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is you.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take a sip.
And as we're watching it, I was like, you know what? These people are all like, good-looking people, but not in the sense where it's unrealistic and plastic like today.
They didn't look fake.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I appreciate that. I mean, it's
There was
kind
a better look back then. It was like more natural.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think nowadays with most reality television, everybody is like so kind of plasticky and
Yeah.
fake looking.
Even
and-
like The
There's some
Bachelor.
tall, lean boys playing basketball in their big they got those long
Pennies.
yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm in your bed and I'm like I feel like I'm like a baby. Like this is like is there going to be a diper? If there's a rattle or anything like that, guys, I might have to leave,
We got
We're getting into the fetish stuff. Yeah.
Pacifier.
There's no
to put in.
podcast, is there?
Yeah.
These cameras aren't even recording, is what I'm
this is just
thinking.
for
Well,
us.
this is gonna roll into our OnlyFans.
Bring out the diper. OnlyFans.
What if we brought you a diaper?
You know what-
It's
Bring out
filled
the
with
diaper.
chocolates, and
You
we're
know
like,
what's
you
kind
need
of
to eat this.
you know what's kind of funny actually is recently, like for one of our podcasts, it was titled Threesome. That's like what we called it. And when we did that, like I posted on my story, and I was like finally gonna do it like OnlyFans, like with my like a link that said
And it got tons of
OnlyFans.
views.
It got a ton of fucking views.
That's
dude.
actually smart. I want to do a video with a headline like
Yeah.
that. Finally going to do a threesome, and then
That's
it's
the
like
key to
Yeah.
just me
getting
talking to a
clicks.
dog the whole
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So with The Hills, how did that?
So we
all
weren't very good
transpire?
looking. You were saying. Go
Well,
on.
no. I was no. I was
what
saying
it sounded like at first, yeah.
so normal,
Yeah.
and
No.
ordinary looking. Not like those gorgeous people on all those other shows.
No. In the sense that, like, okay,
I'll just tease it.
with like the women in particular, it's like they in the beginning seasons, like no lip fillers, no fake tits, no, like their
In the
asses
beginning
were
of the
normal.
beginning,
Like everyone just had to be like skinny to be good looking.
Yeah, well, I mean, I definitely think that whole look you're talking about is an epidemic right now with women. I mean, I don't want to be the guy on here that's
Plastic
like,
ass.
like
Plastic
screw that
puss."
guy.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is you women are beautiful naturally. Naturally, you don't need all that stuff. But if you want it, then you do you, girl. You do you.
Yeah, we don't want any Heidi aliens.
Oh man, no comment.
I just got to that episode where her mom freaks out about her like,
Her surgery.
Her surgery. Well, and the crazy thing is, I think she was the prettiest, like from the jump. Like,
Listen, she's adorable before all of that, and she looks great with
Yeah.
it. Whatever.
I mean, she looks good now.
Whatever.
But, like,
Yeah,
she didn't need it
she's
to
a
look
beautiful
good.
woman.
Yeah.
But what do any of us need? You know, like I don't know. Here's what I think. I think it's a slippery slope, right? Because I don't want to comment on other people, because I know so many people that love to get Botox or lip injections or this or that, and you could tell them till you're blue in the face, you look great without it.
Yeah.
But some people I've learned they just need to have whatever that is to make them feel, a certain way. And, but I do think for sure, not only just with the way any of us looked, but I do think there was an innocence to that season because
the first
speaking
season
for
in
myself
particular.
and Jordan, like we had no clue what it was going to become. We there was no part of us that was like trying to manipulate anything or be anything we weren't.
Yeah.
Which probably is why they just didn't even need us back because we weren't creating drama or. You know,
You guys were too normal, maybe, or something.
yeah, we were just kind of two normal guys. I think that got kind of caught in this like windstorm of this show that became a phenom, and still to this day is like shocking to me. I mean, here I am, 43-year-old man, and I'm still talking about it, and I will be forever. I mean, I'll be in a nursing home. And somebody will be, you know, cleaning me after I shit, and they'll be like, "Weren't you on season 1?" I mean, it'll happen. It will happen. I promise you. Actually, my dad was in the hospital, and the nurse was trying to give him an injection, take his blood, and she was just like, "Why do I know you? Why do I?" It's just really weirding that she just couldn't. She just kept going, and then when she realized what it was, and she's like sticking my dad, and he's like, I'm like, "Hey, can you get the blood out of my dad's arm, and then I can tell you if I, really
TV
dated
star.
Audrina or not?"
Oh my god! So you fell into that show. Did you already live in LA when that started, or did you move there for the show?
So basically, as the way the story goes is, and I'm going to try to tell the most succinct, short version of it. But Jordan and I, we had both met on that show Damage Control for MTV, a hidden camera prank show. I want to say we did about 5 to 7 episodes of that show, and every time that they cast us on the show, they cast him and I as like a duo. So if there was a football player, there were 2 football players. If there was a caterer, there were 2 caterers.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of like, it's kind of like this weird cosmic thing of like, I keep getting paired up with this guy for these MTV jobs. And so naturally we became friends. But I started thinking in my gut, I'm like, all right, I want to go to LA now and see what's out there. And literally right when I was kind of telling Jordan, I think I might want to move to Los Angeles, we coincidentally both got a call from a producer at MTV, and they just wanted to meet with us because I think we had voice to them on all the shoots. We want help getting further into the entertainment business. And so he's like, he called us into the office and he's like, "You guys should go out to California and I can help like introduce you to a couple of people, point you in the right direction. But I think you guys would have success out there." So that was all I needed to hear, all Jordan needed to hear. We packed up, we moved out to LA. So right before we left for LA, and I'm gonna name drop. I'm gonna do it, and that's all that's all there is to it. Okay,
Is it Lindsay Lohan?
It is. So
I heard this.
You heard this?
Yeah. So Lindsay, which is ironic because Crystal was on our podcast and had a bad interaction with Lindsay Lohan. So I'm interested to hear
about
your
that
point.
Sweet puss.
Oh my gosh. So okay.
The Parent Trap.
So we
trapping that dick.
We were at a club one.
That's the cat.
That's the
playing.
cat.
Holy cow! I thought there was like a ghost.
I
in
might
the
have to
apartment.
shut that down.
Is that like a Zumba, a Roomba? What is it?
He's playing with a little
ball.
ball.
Oh, got it. That was whatever it was like, oh God. Yo, this cat is crazy, dude. Whoa. Watch out.
Man.
Flying cats.
He's on the
He's
nip,
not
dude.
allergic to cats, but he's scared of them.
Erectile dysfunction
Man.
and
That
flying cats. Flying pussy.
Pussy made you scream, dude.
I've said pussy more in this podcast than I've said it in my entire life.
Oh,
Pretty
you
much.
can bleep it if you want with a little cat
I would,
noise.
yeah, a little meow.
Yeah,
I would be good. Meow every time. So anyway.
So Lindsay Lohan.
Oh yes, right.
Yeah.
So okay, so actually, right before we got the call from the MTV producer, we had coincidentally met Lindsay Lohan and her friend in a nightclub, and they said to us, if you guys ever decide to move out to LA, we can help get you set up, and you can stay with us for a little while. And we're just like, oh my God, Lindsay Lohan, the movie star, is like, and her friend are like, hey, we'll help you. So that was kind of cool. So
Then
then
they like, but you got to drink a gallon of cum, and you're like, oh.
No.
yes, I believe that was exactly.
And this was what year then? 2000.
This was probably 2004. 2004, either 2005 or
dude.
2004.
So was she getting arrested yet or no?
This is when she was like at the peak of her
Okay.
fame, but
Yeah.
I think like there was a lot of like controversy and things weren't great. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And you could have helped her.
Yeah. So that's
Could've
actually
saved
what we
her.
decided to do.
Yeah.
But so once the MTV producer was like, you should go to LA, and we were like, oh my God, we can go, stay with Lindsay and her friend, Jess Shulman. Shout out to Jess Shulman. Love Jess Shulman. But Jess housed us. We stayed in Jess Shulman's pool house, and that's where we met Lindsay. And Lindsay, I want to say, was dating Talon from Laguna Beach at the time.
Okay.
So Jordan and I became friends with Frankie Delgado and Talon Torriero because Frankie was friends with Jess, and we started playing basketball together. And so then all the Laguna Beach kids were coming up to LA to party. Now Frankie's like one of the best party promoters. Talon was like basically a celebrity. Like he was huge. I mean, everywhere we went was kind of crazy. So then we organically just met Lauren and Heidi and started partying with them. And, every time they'd come up to LA, we'd all go out. And then Heidi and Jordan really did just start dating.
Yeah.
And so they were actually dating. And then the girls were like, hey, we're doing this show. It's called The Hills. It's the spinoff to Laguna Beach. You guys would probably be good for the show. So basically, anytime they thought that guys would be good for the show, then you'd have to go into MTV and like interview or audition for MTV to see like how can this fit into what we're doing.
Yeah.
So we went into MTV, and MTV was like, wait a second, we know you guys from the other two shows in New York. Like, so they actually knew us. And so I think that was in our favor of like, oh, we know these guys and they're already kind of in our
wedging in the door
system.
Yeah.
So it was organic. Like we really did meet Lauren and Heidi and start hanging with them and Audrina.
Yeah.
But like nothing about it was like The Hills became huge. And I'm a guy. I didn't watch Laguna Beach. I didn't know what I was getting into. And to be honest with you, I actually said no to the opportunity several times. They started filming for months without me because I didn't want to be a reality star. I wanted to be a serious actor, taken seriously. So I just kept saying no to it. And then they're like, what's your hesitation? I said, I want to be taken seriously as like a comedian and actor. And if I do this, I'll always be known for this. And here I am like 15 years later, still talking about it. But so they're like, oh, we'll film you doing comedy. And I had a part in a movie. They're like, we'll film you on set. And they did. They filmed all that, like I said. And one thing made the bonus DVD. But we also didn't know when we were doing the show that it was a show about the girls. They presented it to us as a show about young people in Hollywood. So we kind of went into it thinking a whole other thing, and then it comes out and it's like Sex and the City reality version about the girls, and we're just kind of in the backdrop.
It's like the
so
OC
wild,
reality.
dude.
Yeah, so
these deceiving producers, dude.
hey, God bless them. I get it now.
Yeah.
And listen, it was a great.
They're making magic, dude. You know what I mean? They're dipping their nuts in some
it always comes
saltines.
But like I said, now it's the type of thing where I've given up the idea that I could ever hide that fact of my, not that I would want to, but like I'm fine with being known for it is what I'm saying, or from it. It was a cool experience,
dude. It's wild because I knew you, like I met you, then I didn't know you were on The Hills. And then all of a sudden, Shannon was like, "Check out the season," and we watched it, and like, see you like shooting some hoops, dude. Shooting some hoops out there, dude. A little tank top.
One of my many talents.
So there's definitely some parts of The Hills that I find interesting, and I have questions about season 1. So I think we've had this discussion before that not everything's real.
Shannon, should we?
Yeah. We got like our.
What does that say? The Hills season 1. Oh my God, you guys are hilarious. That's amazing.
I've been so warm. I've been just trying to.
Wow, this is funny. This is hilarious. I mean, this is fashion, people.
What are you gonna do?
Click the link in the bio to buy this merch. As you
This
can tell,
merch.
it's
We're selling this right off.
this is, they're selling
I didn't
like
put on
hotcakes.
deodorant. I don't usually
Yeah.
smell though, so I'm okay.
And we're
okay.
gonna
You don't
sell them
stink.
with the natural smell, so that's
Yeah.
okay.
I think I'm pretty not stinky.
Burns the nostrils.
Unless I'm going to work
That's
for an
hilarious.
extended period of time, I just don't put
Mine
on
says
deodorant.
Brian Drolet.
I love it. I mean, come on, that's
This is The Hills I Heart Season 1. Only Season 1. I'm not watching the other
Joey
seasons.
won't watch the other seasons.
Fuck that, bro. I don't know anyone in those seasons.
it's all downhill after season
Yeah.
1, and really.
And I watched the bonus comedy feature. Of
Yeah, we
Brian.
did.
I knew I liked this guy. I knew I
Yeah.
liked this
We
guy.
did watch it. We did. So season 1 starts with you guys going to that party, and they make it look like you guys aren't invited and you're not supposed to be sitting there. But I think we had this discussion
Yeah,
before
yeah.
where you're like, that's not the case.
Yeah, they make it seem like we crashed the party, and they make it like like we weren't invited. But and they make it seem like we were told to not sit in that table.
Yeah.
Of course we were invited, and of course we were told to sit in that table.
Yeah. Like MTV's filming you guys right now. It's
Yeah,
like,
we're there to film the show. Like,
yeah.
So, but listen, again, the producer, filmmaker in me is like, genius. Yeah, just film these kids out in Hollywood, just film them and then edit it together and create conflict and make stuff up and do whatever you can do to make it better. Because if you were just to film only the reality of it, it'd be really boring.
Yeah.
But yes, we were told to sit there.
You were told to sit there. Yeah, because then
I
there's
was told to sit there.
because there's a part where Lauren's kind of like, oh, like what are you guys doing sitting here? And you're like, what do you mean? What are we doing sitting here? And you're like kind of laughing, where it seems like you're teasing her, but like, was that all like, were you guys told to act like that?
So basically, let's say they film us for 5 hours. You're seeing 30 seconds,
Yeah.
of me in that scene.
Yeah.
From 5 hours of shooting, they can take looks, glances,
Yeah.
reactions, and edit it together in a way.
Yeah.
So I would have to go back and watch it, but nothing about that night was like I would never walk away from that night and think there was a problem anywhere. I think they even manufactured like some sort of argument between Jordan, Heidi, and our friend John Paul. They made it seem like John Paul was hitting on her.
Yeah,
but, like,
yeah, they did. Yeah.
Like in real life, there was nothing. Like we're all friends. So all especially being an editor now myself, like I could literally manufacture anything I wanted. If I filmed you for 5 hours, I could make it seem like, you were an evil person trying to murder the other person. Like I could do that with music and looks and it's so funny. Anytime I watch television, I notice the score they put behind things.
Yeah, we pay
I
attention.
always say that the spooky music and shit, just like doom, you'll hear like little sound effects.
Joey went to school for music production. He took like sound, like
I had to
music
do a scoring
scoring
class
like,
where like Microcosms, that little show where it's like microscopic organisms moving around. I don't know.
I do not.
It's a weird show, but we had to take that and score it, our own sound to it. So it'd be a little like fucking
Bug.
microscopic bug like dragging some food somewhere, and while it would drag it, I would just be like
Yeah. I mean, you can
make
manipulate.
like fart noises, and then like put distortion on them, and they'd be like little farts.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of farts you can do in post
Yeah.
is really post fart audio it's a major in college now. It's
and post burp.
Burp
I have a
is-
big burp
yeah.
on Real Comedians.
yeah. I totally put a sound effect burp in, and I loved it.
It was good. So there is that. One of the other things that happens. Oh, well, of course, yeah. Adrena. How much of that relationship was real and like, because there's like you guys go out on this date, you go back to her place, the door shuts, and then then they show.
And then it shows her, and
you-
she's like, "I just like lots of boys."
Yeah, then it's her after a date coming, and you're like, let's not talk about this. Like, so like how real was the relationship?
Well, I actually came on this podcast to make an announcement.
Oh,
My
you're pregnant.
undying love for Audrina. Audrina, if you're watching,
She's married.
DM me. No, I actually
Yo,
saw
let's
Audrina
fucking-
recently on her podcast with Brody and Frankie, and
Teddy.
all I would say about Audrina is she's a total sweetheart, very genuine person, and her and I were basically the two single people in the friend group because like pretty quickly they wove Jason in there, so it was like Jason and Lauren.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Love Jason too. He's a really great guy. So it was Lauren and Jason, Heidi and Jordan, and then by default me and Audrina.
Yeah.
So people were trying to set us up, and kind of her and I's take on the whole thing was, this is an amazing opportunity. We're filming a TV show.
Yeah.
Let's hang out. And I think we might have I don't know. I don't think we ever went on a date. It was almost like we were just hanging out organically through the experience.
The other people too and everything.
And then, I think we both, I don't even want to say liked each other, but Audrina's a beautiful girl. I like to think I'm not a hideous man.
You're a beautiful man.
So, we were just
tall boy.
You shoot hoops in your tank
I
top,
shoot
bro.
hoops in my
Look
tank
at that fucking.
So it was just fun hanging out with her and everybody. And so, once MTV found out that we were kind of hanging out a little, they were like, we want to film you and make it a part of the storyline. And then I even think they said something like, don't hang out or don't do anything unless it's on camera. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of a weird place to be. And then at that time in my life, I didn't want a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm on a TV show. First of all, I just got out of a awful relationship, toxic relationship.
In it, dude.
But not even thinking about in that way.
Focusing on yourself and your career.
Just more excited. I'm just moved out to Hollywood. I mean, this is weeks after moving out to Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I was just not trying to date anybody at that moment, and it has nothing to do with Audrina or any girl. It was just I was still in love with my ex and kind of brokenhearted that it didn't work out. Mm-hmm. And that was a very psychologically, that relationship took a lot out of me. So I wasn't trying to jump into a relationship in that moment.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy hanging out with her, with everybody. And by the time MTV filmed us going out on a date, her and I weren't dating in real life or, in each other's eye like that. She was dating other guys. I was dating other girls. We were both kind of the same in that we were having fun, exploring. And, but yeah, so it was a little bit real in the sense that we were hanging out organically and whatever, but it wasn't like we were a serious couple that was dating or anything like that. Listen, I don't know what you're going to ask me, but what?
I feel like I don't even know to ask. The listeners don't know what I'm doing, but the viewers do.
Listen.
What?
I'm a gentleman, so I don't.
Yeah,
that's a yes.
That's a good boy. That's
now,
a good boy.
I feel like one of the most pressing questions I've had after continuing watching the season is
very pressing. Okay,
here it is, because you're one. Who are you still in touch with?
From the hills. Well, obviously Jordan. Him and I have been
that's your boy.
Best buds now.
That's your boy.
My boy.
Yeah.
My basketball
Little
buddy.
Jordy.
You guys are still
you wear tank tops too. And
We probably talk every day, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, I've lived with him so many times over
There's
the recent
definitely
years.
some fucking fucking broad watching MTV in her teenage years, maybe 14. No, I'm just kidding. She's 18.
Oh my God.
And she's watching you guys in tank tops, you and Jordy.
Tank tops. I've never seen a man be so
I'm pretty
impressed
sure
by a
you
tank
have
top.
your shirt off in one of the scenes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No,
you're...
you can see through that tank top. It's swinging. You can fucking see it.
That's not all that was swinging.
Oh my gosh!
You're
wow.
We fuck chucks.
I don't even know what we were talking about now because.
Oh, we were talking about
dude. Really derailed us there.
So who are you still in contact with besides?
Oh,
Jordan?
right. So Jordan, Frankie, really just Jordan and Frankie, Jason, Talon. Mainly the guys, because the girls are in relationships. It'd be weird if just some dude.
Well, most of them aren't friends anymore, from what.
I think a lot of people are kind of all in their own, lanes, if you will. But Audrina, like I said, I did the podcast with Audrina, Brody, and Frankie, not that long ago. Mm-hmm. So I saw them all, and that's it. I haven't talked to. Haven't seen or talked to Lauren or Heidi in really long time. So
Yeah, because what I've read online is that like the breakup was kind of like they kind of like built it up into this big thing. Maybe their relationship had like kind of normal issues, but it just kind of was like it just kind of ended kind of randomly. Did you feel that way? Like
between the girls, you mean?
No, between Jordan and Heidi.
Oh yeah. I mean, Jordan told me he's never seen Heidi again since the breakup.
Oh, since the breakup.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. I mean, that whole breakup. I remember at the time was mind shocking.
Was that manufactured?
No, that was raw and real. And I feel bad. You know, I love Jordan, and when I went back and watched it, I was like, this is brutal. Like he got his heart ripped out on TV, and my heart goes out to him because, you know, I was lucky in that, you know, I didn't really have a scene or anything like that where, you know, the whole thing, he showed up and they had things packed, and I just think that would be a brutal thing to go through, to have your person you're in love with like break up with you like on television live. I mean,
because they had been together for a long time when that happened.
I think at that point they'd been together, I don't know if it was a year, if it was 6 months, but from my perspective, I was shocked because they were like, you know, inseparable. And
did they fight as much as they made it seem on the show, or not, you didn't really?
It wasn't in my face or anybody else's face. I mean, I think they might have fought, but I just remember when it happened, I was like blown away. Could not believe it.
Yeah.
I still can't believe it. No, I'm just kidding.
Still grieving the loss.
Still grieving the loss. Yeah. So. I don't even know what I'm saying, but yeah. So the only people I'm really in touch with are like the guys mainly, and then, you know, just like I said, saw good old Audrina at the podcast, and
so that kind of brings me to
I think that was like a year ago, maybe.
Dang. So you guys were just like spreading COVID back and forth, like, how you doing?
No, that was like when COVID was
we were past COVID by then.
I know, I forget, dude.
Especially LA, like in LA, that they were like extra crazy. But so that kind of brings me to this burning question I've had and continuing watching after season 1 is what happened to the dog?
Everybody asked this. Everybody.
Did it get had sex with?
What happened to the dog that he got?
Did it get fucked?
Oh my gosh!
I'm just kidding.
Nobody is getting raped here.
Not
even the dog.
Fox.
Not the dog. No, nobody knows. Jordan's asked this question. Honestly, it's the most common thing he's asked, I think. And I feel like maybe it went to like a cousin or a family member of somebody, but I got a itch right here.
Itch it up, daddy.
Yeah, I think it's the cat. You know, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not blaming you. Okay, I'm the one with the itch problems.
He's a good boy.
But yeah, I don't know what happened to the dog. So I know it's safe. It's nobody.
Probably not anymore.
Yeah,
well, it's probably
it's been
dead.
15 years. It's dead.
No, the dog is alive and well.
Bella.
The dog is alive and well.
R.I.P. Bella, dude.
It's but yeah, everybody asked that. It's so funny.
Yeah.
What happened? I don't even remember what happened on the show that makes everybody wonder that. Is it just because she didn't have the dog?
So on the show, she kind of like it seemed like they had been dating for like just over about 6 months or so. And for Christmas, she kind of is like, I want a puppy.
Yeah.
And so he gets her this puppy, and it's her Christmas gift.
And he psychs her out. He gives her like
He gives her something
toy.
else, yeah, something like that. And then all of a sudden, the puppy comes out, and she's like, "Oh my god, you got me the puppy I wanted!" Right? Yeah. And
Colin
like,
Farrell's
it's like this
pissed.
whole
He's
thing.
like, I didn't get a fucking dog.
and then yeah, and then pretty much like when they break up, like she has the dog still, like in like, you know, she's holding the dog as he's leaving and stuff. So I'm like, well, he didn't take the dog back, but like what? And then the dog, I don't think you see it again in like season 2. I think it's like
she broke up with Jordan and the dog.
Yeah,
and the dog, and that dog's never recovered again.
Yeah,
I'll tell you. Yeah, I think it went to a family member, maybe something like that.
That's good. God bless that dog.
Yeah.
And now, so other than like the Hills and like the MTV stuff that you've done, you've also done some movies, right? You produced 2 movies?
Actually 3 at this point now.
Okay.
Yeah, there was Two Dudes in a Dream was the first movie that I ever wrote and got made. And it's available on Amazon, guys, if you want to check it out.
Dang, really?
Yeah, it's
Link in our bio.
link in bio. It's got a pretty cool cast, like Simon Rex, Jason Mewes, Andy Milonakis.
Oh, Jason Mewes, dude.
Yeah,
Damn.
Mewes is awesome.
Does he show his pee-pee? He's got
no.
a long thing on that boy.
Wow, no, I believe it was in his contract that he was not allowed to show his.
I think I saw it in Zack and Mary Make a Porno. I think that's where I've seen his long dong.
Wow, so you know him even more intimately than me then.
Yeah, I'm trying to suck that guy's dick.
Wow, okay. Well, Mewes, if you're watching.
I wonder if there's an Olympic sport just for like guys deep throating other guys just to see how long it could go. Okay.
All right, well, now we're on this topic.
On to the... I forgot what we were talking about.
But so... Two Dudes in a Dream. Andy Milonakis, dude. That was that when he was like in his like prime, like that 2000s, right? Isn't that when he was huge?
Yeah, I think so. Andy was actually our roommate.
What?
Yeah, Andy was my roommate for I don't know 2 years, 3 years.
What did he eat usually for dinner and stuff?
Cereal and gum. No.
I'm always curious about people's lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Andy's not at all. What you'd probably expect. He's actually a super intellectual, smart guy. Don't get me wrong. He's silly.
That's why
and
he's
zany.
so funny, dude. He knows.
Oh, he's brilliant. I love Andy. But yeah, so he plays into like he knows his persona's crazy, wacky, but he's actually, and don't get me wrong, he's silly and goofy, but he's just got a really smart side to him. I feel like he's always kind of ahead of the curve a little. I mean, he was doing YouTube videos before YouTube existed.
He was one of the first, dude. Like the first guy to make little parody raps and stuff. I remember a rap he made like about the Waffle House.
Well, I think he
first.
I think he figured out how to like post a video on the internet before there was any website where you could do it. Like YouTube did. None of these things existed. And somehow he got this video online.
E-Bombs World
like,
or something.
He had his own website
exactly.
too. I think he had his own thing.
And then it was huge and Jimmy Kimmel saw it and that's kind of like but yeah, so Andy was in the other movie that I made, Dumbbells, which is also currently available on Amazon, Dumbbells Special Edition. I actually think it's on YouTube as well for free, Dumbbells Special Edition. But so Andy's been in a bunch of things and is somebody I would definitely consider a dear friend. I haven't talked to him or seen him in a long time. I think he's up in New York, so it's too cold, so I'm not going to go there. So fuck you, Andy. I'm not gonna...
Fuck you, Andy Milonakis. We're taking a stance here.
Andy, I'll come there and I'll suck that long thing you got.
All right. Dude, you got a lot of dicks to suck after this podcast.
Yeah. I'll do it.
Now, your other movie, Dumbbells, that also has Eric Andre. And did you meet Eric down here, or how did you meet Eric Andre?
So... we were in the same acting school together, Leslie Kahn. If you're in LA and you want to go to a good acting school, Leslie Kahn is the best school, I think.
I thought that was a person. I was about to be like, shout out Leslie.
Oh, she is a person, yeah, Leslie Kahn. She's the teacher.
Oh.
It's called the Constitute.
But
just an amazing school. So many working actors and people you would recognize from TV shows are there. They have a really good way to attack the craft of acting, I think better than most schools. But so it was funny because I had been going to the school for a while and she's like, oh, we've got this guy, Eric, and he's, kind of this comedian. And basically like whenever I would try to do acting for television, especially, comedians or people like myself who are very animated, you're too big for the camera. You've got to camera's a very subtle thing.
You got to suck yourself in.
So she was like, hey, can you basically show him what I showed you? And like, so I would work with him on some of his like auditions and material. And that's kind of how we met. And then I just loved him. He was like, it was so much fun to see a comedian like him doing the same material as like a timid actor in the class.
Yeah.
Like, cause he always brought something extra, and just comedians, I realized they're so good at being in the moment and connected. And they're just, that's what you constantly have to do in front of people. So, in acting school, people would be afraid to do a scene in front of, their fellow 9 classmates, let alone a sold-out show of like 100 people.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's where I met him, really liked him. We had a lot of rehearsals together. And actually on one rehearsal, he's like, hey, I made this 5-minute teaser for this talk show. Oh, my thing ended. But
titty.
that's okay.
Should I hit go on it again?
From that angle to use.
That's a lot.
The memory card's full. But we probably have plenty, right, from there.
Yeah.
Because we got this. So, but anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So he showed me a 5-minute sizzle reel of the Eric Andre show before it was ever on television.
I'm sure that was the best.
And it was him destroying this set. And I just remember thinking, this is hilarious. And then he goes off and basically becomes the biggest star.
Yeah.
But so before he was kind of enormous or whatever, that's when we were making Dumbbells. And at that point, he was just a comedian friend who I knew from school. And I was like, hey, you're funny. Come play this role in this movie. And he did. And then little did I know that he would become as big as he did. And, you know, I think he's great. So, you know, he deserves all the success in the world. He's such a hardworking guy, such a nice guy. So,
because he actually got his stand-up start here. He went to Dreyfus School for the Arts. And
he's
so
a local
some
boy.
of Joey's friends in the music scene know him. And, like, they're like, oh, yeah, when he comes in town, we all hang out with him and whatever. And I'm like, that's so wild. Like, people are like, oh, he got his start at Funky Buddha. Like, he used to do open mics here.
A huge what?
Hog.
Because his family is from
I'm going to say
here.
anyone we talk about has a huge dick on here because...
There's no small penises.
Because respect.
We talk about.
Because you say people have a big one regardless.
Yeah. You don't want to, cast people's micro penises.
You don't want to be honest.
The Pope? Are you kidding me? His dick hits the ground from where he's standing on that tall tower.
Hey-o.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Penises, huh?
Yeah.
But anyways, what were we? Eric
Andre.
Oh yeah. And you reminded me. Yeah, he is from this area.
Yeah.
And so since my family's here, that was another reason we became friendly because he would come here for the holidays, and so would I.
Yeah.
So we'd hang out here in West Palm. So that was just another thing in common.
Damn. Do you have any sort of like crazy Hollywood stories, like from your time in Hollywood, like something that was just like insane that happened to you? Or?
Yeah, Robert De Niro ever like flick your butt, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Can you hold that for 1 second?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just gonna do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need something.
You can readjust. Yeah, give me my phone.
Oh shit! No. I really thought the audio just got fucked forever, but we saved it, so we got most of it. Also, on these
the audio is going then.
Audio's good. It didn't
Okay.
stop, which is weird, even though it flickered in here.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Just enough power to keep us going.
So after our power flicker
Yeah.
situation there, so any crazy Hollywood stories, like anything that was just like insane that.
You're living in Hollywood for 20 years. You're definitely gonna have, crazy stories. I definitely had the cliche thing happen to me where
Smoked weed with Snoop Dogg.
never
just kidding.
did that. That would be a good one though. I was gonna say I had the cliche thing that like everybody fears. You go to Hollywood and somebody's gonna try to take advantage of you sexually. It totally happened with this director. I won't say his name. Actually, it's hilarious because he during the Me Too movement, he kind of like spoke out against something, and I just remembered like I could totally,
fuck you up, boy.
torpedo this guy. Yeah. But he did the cliche thing, wanted to give me a massage, told me he was into Reiki, did the whole cliche thing about...
What's Reiki?
It's
healing.
It's a certain type of massage where you like touch someone's back and pressure points. But it's like he invites me to his...
Sounds good.
And this was, so anyway, I got a great massage and I booked the role. That's how I got started in the industry. No.
And that's how I ended up on the hills.
Yeah, exactly right.
I mean, if someone just wanted to suck your flaccid peeper for a role, might as well do it.
It doesn't stay flaccid.
Oh shit!
Boy.
Imagine you're just like, actually, I love this.
You're just trying.
Oh my god, it's good.
So someone tried to Me Too you. They brought you over.
Yeah, they this is like I want to say I'm a month into Los Angeles and met him, I don't even know where, and he was just like, oh, I'm making a movie, you should come show me your reel. And I'm a dumb young guy, I'm like, oh, this is how it works, I'm being discovered,
a predator.
And so he did the whole cliche thing, like many actors, Tom Cruise, listing all these actors of like sometimes you have to do things you might not want to do, and I'm just like, this guy is talking to the wrong guy right now, like
yeah.
So I just was like, look, I don't want you to massage me, I don't want a massage. I don't really care what other actors do to get into movies. I was like, do you want to look at my reel and talk about the movie or not? And of course, he just wanted to drink wine, and he just wouldn't stop about the Reiki massage thing. So I remember I said, because you got to keep in mind, like, I'm thinking to myself, he also said he worked for Warner Brothers.
Dude, I'm having a revelation that like all the famous actors are just like sucking dicks too. It's female and man actors.
It's definitely a predatory business. People in power take advantage of people that move out there and are young.
The Weinsteins, the Epsteins, the Steens, the Steins. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. We love all the groups of people.
But this cat's adorable. But anyway, like I said, so I'll never forget, like, I'm sitting there and he's like, let me just show you what Reiki is. He's like, he goes, I think of course tries to turn it on me. Like, I'm the weird one. Like, I'm the one who has the issue.
Come on, bro. This is fucking cool.
Exactly.
Bro.
So he literally goes like that to my leg, like that. And he goes, see, it's about the pressure point. And I'm just looking at this guy touching me.
It's like getting closer to your wiener.
Yes,
Each
exactly.
time he does
I'm
it's just like
this dude's way too close to my wiener right now. And I'm just in this position where I'm fighting in my mind of like, I want to just tell this guy to go fuck himself, but then I'm like,
is it gonna ruin things?
I don't want to offend him if I'm misreading this, because I don't want to be looked at as like I'm homophobic or something.
He could be like, yo, this is normal in Hollywood.
Listen, when you're young and you're like pursuing your dream, you'd be amazed at how people can manipulate you. Because you're thinking this is your big shot.
And you
or
were
something.
how old at this point?
This is, I want to say I was 24, 25. So I'm not as young as like an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
But I'm super, like,
barely legal.
This is like weeks into LA. You know?
Yeah.
So I finally was just like, look, I was like, I don't want to be touched. I don't care. I stood up and I did my spiel of
they
like,
got the clean ween. It wasn't all
this
shredded
is weird,
up.
Blah, blah, blah. And then of course he was like, and I just was like, I'm leaving, and I left. And so then it was funny, not funny, but when the whole Me Too movement happened, I'm like, so weird. I'm a guy, and I was put in one of those situations, and so if it's happened to me, a guy, I can only imagine how much it's also happened to all the women in that industry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every producer, director,
probably all
they're
of them,
surrounded
dude.
by hot actresses, and there's everybody's manipulating that situation.
Yeah.
And in fact, anytime I work on anything, like if it's a movie I'm producing or just anything, I give zero sexual energy to any female or anything, because I've been in that position where you're just like, it's been a gay man. I've never had a woman do it to me, but I have had gay men like just touch me too much and just be very sexual when we're here to do a job, like not for you to just constantly sexualize the situation. So I would just never want to do that to a girl, and a lot of guys do that to women, like and I see it all the time, and I'm like, don't be that guy, So that's I have that cliche story in Hollywood where I think that's like the seedy thing that people want to hear about. All right, so who raped you? And then, like, aside from that, just I remember one Thanksgiving I was at the Chateau Marmont with Lindsay and her mom and like her family. And
Lindsay?
Yeah.
Her mom?
Yeah, not like that, you crazy guy. But
is she redheaded too?
I don't
Does
know.
the mother match the daughter?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Her and I actually have the same birthday, July 2nd.
Two shades of red.
Really?
Yeah. But I remember that being like, oh, I'm Thanksgiving at the Chateau Marmont with, a movie star and her family. Like, that was a I mean, so many moments like that, though.
That's pretty crazy, dude.
You guys were like friends, you and Lindsay.
No, I wouldn't say her and I were friends. We just had mutual friends, so we were in the same situations and places. But she was never, honestly, very nice to me or warm to me. It was kind of like
never nice to you either.
Yeah,
because that's what Crystal said, was she wasn't very friendly.
Yeah, she wasn't friendly at all. And I think because she was so famous, maybe she had everybody in the world trying to like.
She also was famous from a really young age. So imagine like you're talking about the abuse and weird shit. She's probably been having that since she was a kid.
Yeah.
So that would make you a bitch.
It's impossible to become famous.
Be a bitch to make the men
and remain
not
normal,
rich.
I think. And she's the perfect example of someone who became so famous that, especially at a young age, that's got to be hard to navigate. So I empathize with her there. But yeah, I mean, she wasn't mean to me, but she just wasn't like we were besties or anything like that, is what I would say.
Yeah.
And then it's funny, you know, the whole Mean Girls thing, because I actually am friends with Daniel Franzese from Mean Girls. And I actually went on tour with him on a stand-up comedy stint to colleges a few years ago. But it's funny, I'm like Lindsay Lohan, Daniel now, just so many people from that movie and The Hills kind of, I don't know, somehow we were
overlapped
in the same wave, yeah.
Well, same age, like same time frame of like fame and.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think there was, the only other thing I'll tell you that was like such a Hollywood moment that I'll never forget was, so Andy had VIP tickets to a special concert with Jay-Z and Eminem.
Oh shit!
And he knew that I was like an enormous fan of both. So he brought me. Everybody at this thing was like an A-list celebrity. Like I've never seen, and I will say, even though I've been around many celebrities, to this day, it didn't feel real. Like I'll never forget this moment where like at the bar, and this group of people walks over to us to say hi to Andy. And they're like, oh, hey, Andy. And I just look. It's Leonardo DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire, P. Diddy, Kim Kardashian, and Lucas Haas, who's not as known as all those people.
Who the fuck is that guy?
He's an actor.
Damn, dude.
But I just remember, like, my brain was like, Leonardo DiCaprio, Spider-Man, like, Kim Kardashian, like, and then I'm like, and they're talking to us, and I think I'm just standing there like, like just my brain can't compute like
how insane it is.
You've been watching them in movies
What a
your
weird
entire
matchup.
life, and so it was just.
I saw that guy drown at the Titanic. What the fuck?
Yeah, how is he here right now? You
how
know,
did he-
it doesn't
they kept
make
the
sense.
body
And that's what I
good,
said to
yeah.
him, and security escorted me out.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just.
You go, why are you so warm?
I was like, I think both of you could have fit on that plank of wood.
Yeah.
I mean, what a bitch.
Yeah, what the fuck?
But that was definitely like one of those
Another redheaded bitch.
Hollywood
No, I'm just
moments. Yeah, exactly. And then I out freestyle rapped Eminem and Jay-Z, and that also happened, and it's totally real.
No,
What
are you
I don't
talking-
believe you.
No,
Okay.
I'm kidding. Could you imagine?
Dude, I believe that you thought that happened for a second.
Yes,
And
I just like to
imagine-
throw it in there,
Yeah.
you know, and feel free to spread
What
that
if
rumor.
that's why, like, you had to move here because you just stood on that? So you were like, I fucking battled them and I won.
I
and
stole
you just-
all of their careers, you know.
Oh my
That's why I got
And so
blacklisted.
you're into like rap and such or what?
I've always loved hip hop and rap, and you know, always joke freestyle for fun. But
Like
you know,
I rap.
I'm not as hip to the hop these days. I still listen to like, yeah, I know. Just the fact that I said that, they're like, we believe you.
Do you
We
play
believe
music?
you.
Do you have a relationship with music?
No,
You've been
I
jerking off to music ever?
I do jerk off to music, but I
Yeah.
don't perform music myself.
Uh-huh.
No, I am terrible at music. That's why the only thing I could ever do was maybe write something that rhymed and rhyme it, but like I can't sing.
Have you done plays and stuff? Because don't you have to sing for those?
Yeah, no, you know, there's
Not
not
always.
singing in every play.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so any play I ever did, I didn't. I can't. I literally cannot sing. to
I'm
save
sure
my
you
life.
can, dude. I'm sure you can.
I'm the only thing I can do is the Grinch song. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch,
Ooh, that's a
and
good
like
one.
a couple of Frank Sinatra songs. I can kind of like fake my way through.
Yeah.
I still can't sing, but I'm less awful with songs that you kind of talky rhyme through it.
Yeah.
So comedian wise, are you like a big fan of Jim Carrey, or who are your like favorite comics?
Well, definitely a fan of Jim Carrey. You know, my tattoo says "Alrighty then," but was an enormous Jim Carrey fan my whole life. And Living Color, his stand up to me was just the best.
Yeah.
But as far as who am I a fan of stand up wise, like now or who I have been, you know who I think is I don't even want to say he's underrated, but like he just doesn't get talked about enough is Brian Regan. Do you guys know who that is?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know Brian Regan.
I think Brian Regan is just hilarious. Like his comedy, to me, he's just such a pro. Like he's everything. His facial mannerisms, his voice, like he really cracks me up. I used to be a big fan of Louis C.K. His last couple of specials, like I don't know, He's just talking a lot about pedophilia for I want to say 20 minutes. And listen, I love
Triggered.
Louis C.K. Yes, very triggered. No, he stole my whole act. That's why I'm bitter. No, I love Louis C.K. Just for whatever reason, his last couple specials just... I don't know. I still love him, though. He's still one of the best to me.
Yeah, every time I watch it, I usually just jerk off at Shannon while we're hanging out.
Yes, that's, again...
Louis C.K. is one of my favorite, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but did you like his last couple of specials?
I kind of like I like some edgelord shit. I feel like sometimes, but
Some
I will say
edgelord
I watched Dave Chappelle's most recent special that
Yeah,
they just released on Netflix. Did you see that yet?
I did.
And not very impressed. I'm just
More
this
the
is
same.
nothing more than what I've heard local people kind of say on a lot of the things. I just kind of found it unoriginal, or I just was not that impressed by it. by his
Wow,
special.
all right.
Oh,
Shots
big
fired.
stance, dude. Big
A
stance.
big stance.
I'm not offended by the trans thing, but I just felt like he dug into it too much, and that kind of was odd to me. I guess I was just all right, I get it, but what else do you
Maybe
gotta
a new
say?
angle here.
Yeah. And it's very preach. If you watch it, in a sense of how people rate stand-up comedies, how many laughs per minute and whatever that you get, I just think that if
It's
any
more-
other person did his set, they would most likely bomb. I think he's got a fan base, and I think some of his jokes where he gets these pops, I'm that's not very funny, or that's not very original.
Yeah.
But I'm not offended. I'm never offended by
you
somebody
don't wanna
making
cancel
a.
it.
We think
no,
we
I'm
think
not
he should make Chappelle Show season 3
yeah,
is what I'm saying.
yeah. I
He needs
think
to go back
he's
to
better at
some-
sketch. I like him better in his sketches almost more than most of his recent stand up. It's good, but it's I'm
We're
there's
saying
people I
get
think
out
that
of the
are-
wheelchair, get back on the crack.
I mean, yeah, I hear everything you're saying, and a lot of people have had that criticism. I think, I guess you could say this: he's earned the ability to get up there and do that.
Yeah, people are gonna love it regardless. So
Well, I don't. I put it to you this way: I don't. I get the whole laughs per minute stuff,
Yeah.
and I think I just know that this is his style.
Yeah.
And so I'm not expecting the other thing. So it's
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, when they go to watch a Dave Chappelle special, they're not watching, Brian Regan and Dave Chappelle are two completely different types of comics, right?
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle's a little bit more longer in his setups and
long setups.
yeah. And here's my take on
long
the whole,
like that dong.
yeah, exactly.
got that
She's
long
still in your
dong.
material.
Got that long dong.
But yeah, he's long on the dong. That was actually the main review on his Netflix special. No, I will tell you this. So, knowing he's not going to do the quick setup, quick punchline type of thing, I actually, the screenplay writer in me, really appreciated the writing, and I'll tell you why on this special. And even that first joke, and here's what I'll say. I totally hear the point. Really? Trans jokes again? Really? What else is there? You know?
Yeah.
I get that. But here's what I'll say. The controversy around him doing those trans jokes
Is why
was so
they're good.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also it, when you think of Dave, right? You think of now, oh, that comedian beats up on the trans community and has a lot of trans jokes, right? So he knows that.
Yeah.
He knows that one of the major things people are thinking in this new special is, okay, he's moving on, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to do that again. He's learned, he's going to move on. So his big fuck you, I think, is let me just get it out of the way up top and let me do it in a way where you never
He
see
did do it
coming.
right from the top, yeah.
And he kind of moved on from me. Then he went into handicap, which I thought was funny. So
I thought
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
good.
yeah.
just
I
the
like
writer,
that.
it's
Yeah.
you're I have to deal with this trans thing because it's such an elephant in the room. So let me just also show you, because he said it, he goes, you think I need you to be funny? You think if you boycott me that I need you?
Yeah.
So
The wheelchair thing was really funny.
so and so I just think the writer in me, and here's the other thing he did, so any good screenplay should get you emotionally out of the gate in the first 30 seconds. There's a famous screenplay writing book called Save the Cat, and it's called Save the Cat because if you have your main character save a cat in the first moment of the movie, you're like, oh, I like this guy. I want him to win. So even if he, let's say, does something that is a huge character flaw after that, like let's say he's an escaped convict, but he saved the cat. So this is a good guy. I'm rooting for him now. So you always want to, even
unless you hate cats.
unless you hate cats, then you know the whole thing's off.
Yeah.
But when you see somebody save an animal, you like them, and you're emotionally invested now. That's why at the beginning of so many Disney movies, their parent dies.
What do you think of Kevin Spacey at the beginning of House of Cards? The dog is like just got hit by a car and he snaps its neck and he's like, some people got to put them out of their fucking suffering.
You know, that's the other way.
I was
go
like,
with
damn,
it.
I don't care that this guy was diddling boys. He can diddle me.
Well, you know that, like I
He
said,
be snapping dogs' necks for my diddling.
that would be another direction to go with the character if you snap a next cat in the first 10 minutes. But the point is, so Chappelle, at the beginning of his joke, he said he was in a really bad place because his father died. And the only thing that got him out of that was Norm Macdonald was like, hey, you want to meet Jim Carrey? Oh. So he emotionally got you out of the gate like, oh, his father died. He was in a bad place. And then he lulls you in. He's like, oh, my hero, Jim Carrey. And it's like, okay, he's not going to talk about trans stuff. This is interesting. This is different. And then, of course, he just goes, gotcha, bitch. And then he looks at everybody and he does that look like, you know?
Yeah.
And then he goes to, and he really then kind of switches it from there. So just the writer in me is like, he gets you emotionally. The setup's so long that you start to forget that this is a comedy bit.
Yeah.
That's why when he says, and that's how trans people make me feel, you're like, oh yeah, like he and one of the things he talked about once, right? And if you notice, if you rewatch the special, he does it all the time, but one of the things he said he learned was when you can just do a regular setup and punchline, but there's power in
the silence,
pulling people in, like that longer setup to where you're listening on the edge of your seat. And then, boom, I hit you with it, and you get such a bigger reaction and a bigger laugh. Yeah. And he's the master. He'll pull the stool out to the front of the stage. He'll sit down. He'll light a cigarette. He'll lull you in. And then, boom, he'll put the stool back. He'll stand up. He'll start doing more act outs. And so he's become a master at that style. So if it's not your...
That was weird, where he
tea,
went off stage and smoked the cigarette. Yeah, like there were just some things like that where I was like, this is so interesting.
But listen, I get it. I happen to love Dave Chappelle, and I just don't think he's ever going to be that, you know, this is who he is now, and I think he's had such a amazing career that, yeah, like you said, he has his fan base, he has his people.
Dude, his show will forever be the greatest show.
Yeah,
dude. That show now still is offensive, and I like it.
Do you know I never really watched that show? I've seen tons of clips, and
you gotta watch it because like the stuff that you haven't seen probably will make you fucking die. You know what I mean? It's so fucking good.
Yeah, I know. But didn't he have like where he's like a black guy that was in the KKK, but he's blind? Like, that's crazy. That's hilarious.
One's a good one. Yeah. He's definitely a genius. And then the other thing we didn't touch on yet was that you were on Kill Tony. So we're actually huge Kill Tony fans. That's what got us to start comedy.
Oh, really?
We were watching Kill Tony, and then it was like, oh, we should like write. And then like if we're ever, this was when it was already in Austin.
A lot of jerking off, a lot of Kill Tony.
and it was like, oh, as we were watching Kill Tony, we started like writing jokes of like what we would say if we went to Kill Tony and put our name in the bucket.
Speaking of Kill Tony, Poppy's our sponsor for the show. So
oh, nice.
Just if this company will ever respond to my emails, please, and just, send me a case or two. It's expensive.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
So we were fans of Kill Tony. We started writing comedy, and then we like end up going out to a mic with our friend. He performed. We went back like the next week, and that was almost 2 years ago.
Oh, nice.
And so you were on Kill Tony, and I actually didn't really know this because you're on like from back in LA, and so we never, we've watched the recent episodes, but not, we never saw that episode that you were on. So you had a not so great experience.
Well, yes and no. It actually turned out to be one of the best experiences I've had in comedy. Mm-hmm. But it was also one of the worst because, first of all, I'd never seen Kill Tony. I didn't know what it was. I went to the Comedy Store that night to sign up for the open mic. Mm-hmm. And, I didn't get chosen for the open mic. It's like 1,000 comics that show up. They pick like 10 15 people.
Damn, that's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
crazy.
So you just got to keep showing up every week. And
Was this in 2016 when you were going every day?
it might have been actually.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I was very new to stand up. I think. But so yeah, I didn't get for the open mic, and then someone's like, oh, there's this other mic called Kill Tony, and that's all I knew. It was just another open mic. That's all I knew. I had no clue about that there's a panel and a big guest comedian and a band, and that it's streamed and that they're roasting you. So when I got called, I didn't know what the show was.
Too. You
And
were
I got
first.
called first, which is crazy. And I remember somebody told me, if you get called, launch right into your material when you get up there because you have 60 seconds. 60 seconds is not a lot of time.
Yeah.
One of the main mistakes that I made was I just rushed through. I was thinking, let me get as many jokes in as I can in this 60 seconds. And comedy's all rhythm and timing. So if you're like putting stuff on fast forward, you're not giving people enough time to like land the joke.
There's no cadence and stuff.
Yeah, just my timing was off. And I was also like out of breath. Like I had to like, go through a sea of people and like go over a balcony, and like it was just to get to the stage was it's a huge room. So I was like out of breath and just trying to go so fast. And so then your set ends and I don't know what's next. And then they just start roasting me. And when I watch it back now, I cringe at how seriously I take some of it, because if I were to do it now, I wouldn't care at all. I'd be like, oh, they're going to roast me and, just have fun with it.
Yeah.
But this is when I was like brand new to comedy and still like insecure and vulnerable. So somebody making fun of me, I was like, well, fuck you then, this is hard. And like, so yeah, it caught me off guard. And really nothing anybody said. They were all the jokes they should have said, to me.
Yeah.
And then, so I went outside after the show, right? I was mortified. I got off stage. I didn't even know what happened. It was like getting in a car wreck, and you're like, what just happened? Mm-hmm. And my friend Jenna worked at the place, and she just walks up to me and hands me like a beer and like opens it. She's like, here, I know you need this. And I just like walk out to the front of the Comedy Store, and I'm just like processing, like, what just happened? Like, what did I almost felt like I was in high school
Like
again.
you got set up?
Yeah, like, yes and no. Like, but yeah, I mean, just just thinking back everything they said to me, and because there's a joke that I used to tell at the beginning of every set, and it would always get a laugh at every mic I did, and it didn't get a laugh at Kill Tony. And again, I think I kind of rushed through it, but he pointed out that the joke didn't make sense or whatever, and I'm like, but this joke works constantly, and he's caught up on the semantics. And then Andrew Santino was like, no, actually, I think it's very accurate. I think it's funny. And he actually stood up for me. And I think he's a hilarious comedian. Actually, at the time, I didn't know who he was. And then from then on, he's in like every, he's on Dave, which I love.
Yeah, dude, Dave is so good.
His stand-up specials are hilarious. And I'm like, oh, man, I didn't even know at the time that this guy's going to become one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah.
And I love that he kind of defended me a little. But I actually think he could tell that my feelings were getting hurt, and he was like, I'm not going to make fun of this guy, which I also appreciate.
Some guests are nice and some guests are mean.
Yeah.
And
but so what ended up happening is I went outside feeling mortified, like shaking, like what just happened, and I was like, I'm the type of person I can shake off. It takes a lot for me to, feel that bad. You know what I mean? Like I was kind of like whatever. So I'm out there, and the show starts letting out, and this guy comes up to me, and he's like, hey, man, he's like, I actually thought you were really funny. He's like, can I smoke you out? And I'm like, sure. So he like lights up a blunt, and he's like just being super positive, and like, and I'm just kind of like, oh, okay. He thought I was funny. Like I thought this was a train wreck. So that was like the first moment of like, huh. Then more people started letting out, and people just kept coming up to me and being like, hey, man, I really enjoyed you. And
because they saw what you endured, too. So, like, people, like you because of that. Like, I like when people get shit on and just take it.
Well, that's literally
you
what
gotta
some guy said to me.
Let it roll,
He said, they just shit on you so badly, and he's like, I come out here, and you're, like, smoking a blunt and drinking a beer and laughing. Yeah. He's like, I've wanted to do stand-up for years, and I've always been too scared to do it. He's like, and then I see you just up there, and, like, fearless. And so I ended up having so many people come up to me and give me props that night, and then all the comedians that are like working comedians and regulars at the Comedy Store came up to me and were giving me love. And then Tony, Brian Redband asked me to take a picture with his girlfriend who was a fan of The Hills. But everybody came up to me and gave me respect. And I realized, this thing that was the most terrifying thing, like you said, people respect you for like having the balls to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I don't think any negative experience I could have doing stand-up could be worse than that.
Yeah.
Which is basically bombing and then having people make fun of you for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing worse than that.
Dang.
So
That's what the show is, though. So it's kind of like,
And now it's become this pretty popular thing.
Huge.
It's huge.
And so I feel cool to have been a part of it.
If you go on again, like, and you brought it up, like, I'm sure, like, it would be like a thing.
You were there from the start. You were probably there. Was Jeremiah
when it wasn't very
still
big.
in the band then?
Yeah, he was.
Think so, yeah.
And actually, he was walking, or he lived in the neighborhood that Jordan lived in, and bumped into him on the street. It was kind of funny. And I was like, "Do you remember you killed me on Kill Tony?" But yeah, actually, Brian Redband told me, that I should come back on. But that was before they moved to Austin, and I just remember at the time, I'm like, "There's no way I'm ever doing that again."
Yeah.
But now I probably would, if they ever wanted me. So
that's crazy. And now you're doing comedy here, and you're producing the Real Comedians of South Florida.
Yeah. My father, he lives down here, and he's getting old, he's getting really old, and so I started out in LA. It just didn't feel right to be that far from my dad, and I wanted to be closer to him to help him out. So I kind of fell in love with.
We're like the cheap version of there, so it's pretty.
No,
good.
listen, I love the South Florida comedy scene. I actually almost love it more than the LA scene, because the LA scene's so saturated and so like all the mics there are in places that are like the size of a closet.
You pay to play,
and you
type
pay.
of thing,
It's $5 for 5 minutes, $10 for 10 minutes, and it just feels a little more cattle callish. Whereas here, it feels a little bit more like I'm part of a community, and it feels like people are rooting for each other. And don't get me wrong, there's things to like about the.
I'd
LA
say
scene.
there's certain hostility that still exists.
Yeah.
In more so the comedian scene than the music scene, but there's still little weenies in everywhere. There's still little weenies hiding under my butt trying to sniff my wiener.
I'm sure there's drama, but I don't get involved in drama.
Yeah.
I'm
No, it's none of the people that you
don't get
with.
involved in drama. You're producing a show. Yeah. No, I mean, to be
Fake
fair,
drama,
the funny thing is, like, the people you've picked are all
good
the least
people.
dramatic type of people.
I know.
Like these are all like the very normal people in the South.
I think I want to deal with the psycho people.
Yeah.
But it's been so much fun. So I fell in love.
dealing with us.
Yeah. See, I got this guy sucking
I'm
everybody's dick
trying
over
to
here.
smell your ass.
All right, it elevates quickly
I'm
around
trying
here.
to smell asses and kick kneecaps out.
Subscribe to the Patreon. Yeah.
I come to the mics just to look.
Yeah. And
I don't laugh.
You
in the
are the
front row.
hostility and drama.
I
that
don't
we're talking
laugh in
about.
the front row.
All the comics are like, is he trying to suck your penis too, or is it just
Laugh
me?
at my wife, motherfuckers.
Just have like a gun.
Yeah. Hold it to your back. It's actually my dick.
But I thought there was so much silliness on the scene. I was like, I got to capture this. And the LA guy in me was like, somebody should be doing
Producing
a
something.
documentary about this. And I thought it would be more fun to add scripted, kind of like Curb Your Enthusiasm style. Like, so the first couple episodes were more scripted, and now I've just been going to mics and filming and kind of having fun and exploring different ways to, just show. My goal is always just to showcase this scene and all the people like yourself, who's wonderful on the show, and apparently does not normally drink whiskey till
Which is the funniest part. Which, like, I remember, like, you came up to me at Black Flamingo. You were like, would you be interested in doing this? And I was like, yeah, sounds cool, right? I get the script, and I was like, oh my God, I'm an alcoholic. I'm like, Brian really must think like my energy screams I'm drunk, but really I'm just California style.
Well, I don't drink whiskey anymore because I peed in a dresser that we had to get rid of.
Yeah.
You peed in a dresser?
Yeah, I went to look for the dresser, but that's a lot. We had a huge dresser. It used to be right here. I went out
Joey got
drinking with my
drunk.
buddy. Lots of Jack
and
Daniels.
our bed used to be over here, and he like crawled over me because we didn't have two sides of the bed, so he crawls over me. And this was after he was out with his friend. His friend was in town, and they met up with like our neighbor who was like our drunk neighbor, and So he crawls over me.
Doesn't drink anymore, and that's
and then all of a
something.
sudden, like I hear him like right next to the bed, right at the dresser, and he fucking pisses on my dresser, and I freak out because this actually was the second time something like this happened. This happened once in college, and my roommate was wearing like a sleep mask and earplugs. She used to like sleep with earplugs in it.
Should we shout out to her?
No, we're not saying her fucking name, dude. She'll come and kill us, dude.
She'll stop my
And
dick
Joey,
till it's
like,
putty.
as she's sleeping right in between her bed and her like desk, Joey's like standing there, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" Right? And he was like pissing
Wow.
next to her
I
bed.
have no
And so this was
recollection
the second
of this
time.
shit, dude.
Yeah,
That's
Oh
why
my
I
God.
got
and
too
these
drunk.
were both whiskey situations.
Yeah.
So his whiskey dick is a pee-pee
I
dick.
was wondering why in your bathroom there's just a dresser.
Yeah.
The drawers have a funnel and like
Yeah,
plastic
yeah.
lining.
Yeah.
in
Drawer
them.
1 is number
Yeah.
1, drawer 2 is number 2,
Yeah.
drawer 3 is if you have to vomit.
Yeah.
Yes. So
So you can smell the shit from the top drawer.
My God.
kind of crazy. Kind of crazy.
That's crazy.
Now, do you think we should kind of wrap it up?
Yeah, we
Do
can wrap it up.
our,
Is there anything you want to talk about before we're done? We never talked about your childhood.
The only thing I mean, anything you want to ask me, the only thing I would say is there is a film that I'm very proud of that we made with just an iPhone, no budget, no lights, nothing. An iPhone and some creative people. And we made this movie called Be Like Trees, which is on YouTube. You can watch it for free. And just know it was made on a $0 budget by 3 friends with just an iPhone, and I'm very proud of what we did. And it's big part of it is it's about the artist's plight and kind of what we go through as artists, and it's semi autobiographical. I play myself in it, and all my friends play themselves. And,
Yeah.
Interesting.
So Be Like Trees, and then check out The Real Comedians of South Florida on YouTube, and
Very
tip
cool.
well.
Very
tip.
cool. I realized we didn't ask you a question we ask everybody. Have you ever had a threesome?
Have I ever had a threesome? Yes.
Damn, dude, that's what the Hills does.
LA!
The Hills have eyes.
It's actually way before.
That's
the
why he
Hells.
told Jordan, he was like, Jordan, we're in LA. Fucking, you got to ask about the fucking threesomes.
I made
dude."
that joke out of like 5 hours of filming, and that's what they put on there. I'm like, oh, now I look like this, like.
No, you're looking like the
sleazeball
threesome,
guy
dude.
or whatever.
Do you take your rings off when you finger pussies?
I put more rings on. You know,
Yeah.
I find that.
You ever lose one?
Started.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, no, I've never lost a ring in somebody. Oh my goodness. Just
like,
in
what?
quotes, I've never lost a ring in someone.
somebody.
Brian Drolet, the
Yeah.
podcast. Erectile dysfunction, sucking penises,
I heart Brian.
losing rings inside of vagina.
Hung like a chupacabra.
Yes.
So we actually we do a little finale here. So we're gonna have you
tuck
lay
you in,
down.
buddy.
We're gonna tuck you in.
Oh wow. Okay. This is just more normalness. All right. Do I keep the mic?
Keep the mic.
All right. Just think I need like chicken noodle soup maybe, and
Gotta piss
Oh,
so
by
bad.
the way, when I searched your name, it came up on Reddit that you were engaged to Rod Stewart's daughter. Is this true? Or Rod? Yeah.
it says I was because that was Talon. So I don't know how
Oh,
they
okay. Maybe
roped me
that's why.
into it. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how I found it.
Yeah. A lot of things pop up with Talon and
Mixing the men.
yeah.
Okay.
People always mix up Laguna Beach and the hills.
Yeah,
Why
that
weren't
makes
you
sense.
on that Laguna Beach?
Yeah, yeah. So we have a little lullaby for you.
Okay. Oh, the cat's getting
Here
it
comes
on.
Marley.
The cat always gets in on it. Every time we're trying to do something special.
Every time we're trying to do something special in this bed, he joins. All right.
All right, Brad guy. Thank you for being on. Do you have anything to
Oh.
promote?
Besides the shows, anything coming up?
No, just check out The Real Comedians of South Florida on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Brian Drolet. And
At Brian
And be
Drolet.
like trees.
yeah, be like trees.
Make sure you're following me at Shannon Says Shit. Make sure you're following Joey at Joey Mason.
Shave your bush and be like trees.
Make sure you follow the Thread Count podcast, TikTok, Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube. Leave us reviews. Help us out. Thread Count.
All right.
And here's our finale.
We love you, Brian. You're our friend now.
Brian Drolet,
You're making me gay.
Brian Drolet. I don't know what to say, I'm fucking starstruck.
Oh my fucking god. It's fucking Brian Drolet in my bed.
Is he gonna give me head?
Oh my god. He was on the hills. Didn't get addicted to pills
Pills that I know of.
But if you did, it's okay, Brian. We got Oxys here, we got Roxys, we got OPs, we got Blues. I heard he hooked up with a Trina. TMZ said she's a pee-pee cleaner. Yum.
Brian Drolet,
LA didn't make him meaner.
Oh, guys! I loved it.
All right, love you, brother.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for being on, man.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Thank
My
you,
hand was
thank
really
you. My
moist.
hand's
Sorry.
moist.
Yeah.
And,
Got them moist fingers.
We got these moist hands already, so stick around for our OnlyFans.
Yeah, stick around
We
for
got these lights set up.
the
We're gonna close the
comedians
curtains
of
fully.
South Fornication.
Thank you for joining us.
Fornication. All right.
Nice. Oh, look at this poor cat. That was hilarious. Guys.
song.
That has to definitely make the real
Brian
comedians.
Drolet.